There's a lot of perspective on the hadith, for example, where the Messenger ﷺ said to raise your children on salah at 7. Make sure your kids are praying at 7. Not just 1 or 2 prayers a day. Make sure that they're praying the 5 daily prayers at 7. Fajr counts too, even on the weekends. At 7 years old, your children should be praying. And Rasulullah ﷺ said what? And at the age of 10, then you need to discipline them physically. The Prophet ﷺ was not telling the Sahaba, you know, if your kids aren't praying at 10 years old, go smack them around. Actually, the perspective of this hadith is that a lot of people react with the hand in the first place, right? They start slapping right away when their kids aren't praying. You know, that's the way that they start disciplining physically from the first place. And what the Messenger ﷺ is teaching us, that if for 3 years, 3 entire years, every single day, you are ensuring that your children are praying just like you, do you really think that would be necessary at the age of 10? No. Okay? So you start early. And how early do you start? When do you start trying to ensure righteous children? When? Before pregnancy. When? Which dua? Before marriage too. Before that too. You try to ensure the righteousness of your children even before marriage. The Prophet ﷺ taught us, or Allah Azza wa Jal teaches us, Ibrahim alayhi salam's dua. And Rasulullah ﷺ used to make this dua, and he taught us to make this dua. رَبَّنَا هَبْ لَنَا مِنْ أَزْوَاجِنَا وَذُرِّيَّاتِنَا قُرَّةَ أَعْيُنٍ وَاجْعَلْنَا لِلْمُتَّقِينَ إِمَامًا. Oh Allah, grant us from our spouses and our offspring the coolness of our eyes, and make us imams for the muttaqeen, make us leaders of the muttaqeen. So there's that. And you know what else? The way that you treat your parents. That's also a way of ensuring the righteousness of your kids, because what goes around comes around. SubhanAllah, you know, I see some of the things that my daughter does to me. I'm like, you know, I remember making that same joke or pulling that same thing with my parents, and she's just 3 and she's already doing this. All right, some of the things that my Sunday school kids, before I became imam, my Sunday school students used to do to me, I would say, I remember playing that same prank when I was in Sunday school. You know, it comes back around. SubhanAllah, it does come back around. So the way that you treat your parents, now obviously there are exceptions to that. But generally speaking, you will see some of it if you look close enough in the way that you treated your parents, that your children will treat you. You know, it's illogical and it doesn't make sense. Unfortunately, some people only react when it comes back to hit them in the face. You know? Whenever they see the consequences of their actions. Some people are not proactive, some people are reactive. They wait until their children grow up and their children are telling them to, saying bad words to them and telling them to go away and shutting the door on them and not giving them the time of day and then questioning Islam and so on and so forth. That's when some parents are like, wow, what have I done with my life? And we should not wait for that time. To remember that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he encouraged us to have children. So having children is a sunnah. And the Prophet ﷺ, he said, you know, have as many children as you can, for I will be proud of your number on the Day of Judgment. Rasulullah ﷺ will boast about the number of Muslims on the Day of Judgment. Now obviously, this ummah is the largest ummah of believers on the Day of Judgment. Out of all of the nations of the prophets, this ummah will be the largest of them all. And Rasulullah ﷺ encouraged us. And the Prophet ﷺ talked about being proud of us on the Day of Judgment, you know, the number that we have. Obviously, from the individual perspective,
اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط